A man named Aaron stands on the roof of a building, holding a cigarette in his hand. Aaron looks extremely depressed and anxious. He tried to contact his wife, but did not receive any response. It turned out that his wife had died in his apartment. Aaron then left a voice message expressing his depression. He repeatedly said, "We could have done it together." But soon, he was anxious and emotionally out of control, and made an unconfident move. Obviously, they didn't do it together. The next scene, we met Liv, a young woman living with her boyfriend, Aaron. She was on the phone with her mother. Her mother urged her to go home as soon as possible. After hanging up the phone, Liv began to pack up and leave. After a while, Aaron woke up to ask about the situation. Liv said she was tired of him, because he is always busy with work. Aaron tried to comfort her, but revealed that he asked for a leave because of her. After Aaron's client made an unconfident move, their conversation turned around. It turned out that she was talking about Aaron. Liv felt that Aaron's work was more important than their relationship. She was very disappointed, and then left angrily. We also learned that a mysterious virus was affecting people around the world. This led to serious psychological health problems and emotional instability. Some experts claim that this virus has triggered a phenomenon called degradation. In fact, it makes people return to their original state. According to a professor, humans are losing the front and back of thinking and analyzing behavior. Therefore, people's emotions are affected. Symptoms include extreme anger, temper tantrums, aggressiveness, etc. In order to help these people, the government created an online platform called the Companion System. It recruited a few staff to deal with clients through the Companion System. Harming is one of them. He is currently very guilty of Aaron's tragic death, because he is responsible for taking care of him. What makes Harming sadder is that Aaron is his first client. Harming may be fired. The scene then changed to 100 days ago. We see Harming talking to Aaron. From Aaron's voice, it can be heard that he is very depressed. But Harming tried to convince him to take the medicine and calm down. After this conversation, Harming arranged to have another conversation with a client named Kane Salder. At the beginning of the conversation, Kane began to vent his depression and admitted that he threw the medicine. He also admitted that he killed a person on the street because that person blocked his way. In addition, Kane said some mean things to Harming. He told him that his words of healing could not help him at all. Despite this, Harming still tried to comfort him, but the client refused to listen. Suddenly left the reply, "He may kill again. Harming should definitely be fired." A few days later, Kane's mental state continued to deteriorate. One day, when he was taking a shower, his friend Ian came to see him. Kane was rude to him at first, but after learning that Ian brought some drugs, his behavior became frantic. Kane took these drugs without hesitation. This brought him a sense of short-term satisfaction. However, they were interrupted by a knock. What scared them was that it was the police. In panic, two friends tried to escape the apartment before the police broke in. Later, Kane thought Harming was the one who notified the authorities. However, he knew nothing about Harming, so he couldn't find him. From today to 80 days ago, Liv became Harming's client through the Companion System. As time went by, their therapy became a close friendship. One day, they decided to meet in person. This violated the rules of the Companion System. Therefore, their contact developed into a romantic relationship. However, now their love began to have problems. Constant quarrels hurt each other's feelings. Now Liv is back home, but she can't unlock the door with her fingerprint. After several attempts, she changed her signature. Finally, she entered the house. As soon as she entered the house, she was welcomed by her mother and her new boyfriend. At dinner time, Liv's mother shared her plan to sell the house. Now she wants to move to a better place with her partner. Liv strongly opposed this decision, because this house carries her memories of being alone. She refused to sign any documents. But what Liv didn't know was that the signature on the front door allowed them to continue without her consent. When Liv learned about this, she was very angry. She grabbed a fork and stabbed her mother's boyfriend. Her stepfather never cried. She just started in advance. On the other hand, Ha-Ming continued to try to call Liv, but he couldn't reach her. She was worried. She contacted the police to report her missing. As a result, she was told that only 5 days after the missing person went missing they can start the investigation. There was no choice. Ha-Ming decided to do it himself. She used her Companion System ID number to track her location and go there. Unfortunately, because she didn't use the taxi service for a long time, her member account has expired. Oh, my God, this future scene makes me shudder. Therefore, Ha-Ming had no choice but to do it. On the way, he walked into a stranger and asked him to take a taxi to the subway station. That guy thought he was some kind of villain. He took out a gun and aimed at Ha-Ming. He forced Ha-Ming to retreat in a hurry. A few hours later, Ha-Ming arrived at the subway station. There, he found an injured person lying on the ground. Although he was worried about going there, he began to call 911 for medical assistance. However, Ha Ming was attacked by an unknown attacker from behind. He was knocked out. After a while, he regained consciousness. He only found that all his belongings were stolen by the injured person, including his backpack, ID card, even his shoes. Although he suffered setbacks, Ha Ming still tried to stand up. He got on the subway train and continued his journey. In the next scene, we see that Kyan used to beat a person to vent his aggression. Coincidentally, that person was the one who robbed Ha Ming. Kyan and Ian checked Ha Ming's backpack, found his ID card. Kyan recognized him immediately. He was excited for finding his goal. They also checked Ha Ming's equipment, determined where he was going. They didn't delay at all. The two rushed to the subway station, but missed the train that was about to depart in a few seconds. This made Kyan very angry. He scolded Ian, blamed him for being too slow. He learned that the next train would arrive in 25 minutes. They made another plan. They stole a car from a lady. They left in a hurry. On the way, Ian questioned if Kyan was sure that Ha Ming was the one who notified the police. Kyan replied that it was either Ha Ming or Ian himself. At the same time, Ha Ming fell asleep on the train. He dreamed that he was trapped in a desolate landscape. When he approached a mysterious corpse in the middle of the land, he suddenly woke up from his dream. After getting off the train, Ha Ming continued to walk to complete the rest of the journey. He tried to hitchhike on the highway several times, but it didn't work. He met a group of local bandits who were robbing an innocent woman. However, Ha Ming chose not to intervene. He quickly left the scene. On the other hand, Kyan and Ian found a little girl sitting in the back of the car. She happened to be the daughter of the woman they stole the car from. This made Kyan panic, but Ian tried to stay calm. He began to talk to this child. They introduced themselves. Although Kyan insisted that Ian did not reveal their true identity, when the latter disagreed, they had a fierce quarrel. The result was a car accident. Are you kidding me? Fortunately, they were only lightly injured. Kyan pulled himself out of the car accident vehicle, and Ian killed the girl. It looks like an accidental death. After this outrageous behavior, the two continued to walk forward. At the same time, Ha Ming finally reached his destination. He knocked on the door of a community. An old lady opened the door. Ha Ming inquired about the residence of Li Fu. The old lady accused him of walking towards the house near the forest. Later, the old lady took out some food from the kitchen. She walked into a room. There was a young girl locked in a chain. She threw the food to the girl who was in prison. Gretel. The girl ate it up. This young girl's behavior was abnormal. She may have been affected by the mysterious virus. Not long after, Ha Ming arrived at Li Fu's residence. He found the door open. He walked into the house. He only saw Li Fu's mother and her boyfriend lying on the floor. There was no sign of life. He felt very scared. He fell to the ground. In this subconscious state, he had a nightmarish illusion. Li Fu bit his flesh mercilessly. The next morning, when Ha Ming woke up, he shivered. He took out some food from the fridge. He ate it up. He looked like he was hungry for a few days. His behavior showed that the virus was slowly occupying his body. During this period, he heard someone entering the house, so he quickly hid behind the sofa. The invaders were not others. It was Kane and Ian. They came here to find Ha Ming. Kane began to search the whole house. Ian played a rope by the pool. After a while, Kane gradually approached the sofa, but Ha Ming tried to crawl away. He hid under the kitchen sink. Soon, Kane walked into the kitchen, but he couldn't stand the smell of the corpse, so he left. In the next scene, Ha Ming came out. He went to the woods to find Li Fu. After a while, he finally found him, but he had been infected with the virus. Li Fu's behavior was very primitive. He was eating raw meat. Ha Ming slowly approached him. He tried to calm him down. He said he would change his name to Hamo. They can be a family. Then he took off his jacket. He covered his body with it. In the meantime, he recalled the happy time they spent together. Soon after, Kane and Ian found this couple, and immediately attacked them. Kane chased Ha Ming. Ian used a rope to hold Li Fu's neck and dragged him. In the chaos, Ha Ming grabbed a stone. He smashed it on Kane's head. Then he rode on Kane. He killed him. Then, Ha Ming rushed to save Li Fu. When he saw him coming, Ian ran away. But Li Fu was no longer alive. This heartbroken loss destroyed Ha Ming. He was full of tears. He was in great sorrow. He took Li Fu to a vast field. He lay there with him. He held his hand. He finally took his last breath. As time went by, the couple's remains gradually disintegrated. It became a skeleton. The end.